What's going on, everyone? It's a Sunday edition of BYP. Rich Quinones here. Don't forget, check me out on Twitter at RichQ on Q. So as I mentioned, a lot of stuff to get into on this edition of Back Your Play, a little abbreviated edition. Unbelievable weekend in the world of sports, right? You had all the college football, Saturday across the board, the NBA, college hoops, a bunch of top 25 games. And then we sprinkle in the World Cup final earlier this morning, it was freaking fantastic, right? I mean, think about this. Argentina races out to a 2-0 lead. You think the game is over. Messi, here we go. France comes storming back, gets to PK. A minute later, scores again, 2-2. We go to injury time, stoppage time, extras, and then PK. And the drama that is, right, Argentina winning it. So I think, in my estimation, without a doubt, the greatest World Cup final that I've ever witnessed. And aside from the host nation, right, which we all have our opinions on, exceptional World Cup. But I wanted to get in a little NFL. We'll talk more about WC tomorrow on Monday's edition of BYP. But this is a big game tonight, obviously, in the NFCs for the Giants and Washington. And I want to talk a little more to the Giant fan, because if you listen with me throughout the week and also with Brandon Jacobs on 27 and Q, pardon me, I think people think this game will be a referendum on Daniel Jones's career. Both squads come in 7-5-1. Obviously, that ugly tie, that 20-20 tie. I mean, if you look at some of the numbers that last game, you might get another tie. It's conceivable tonight. Third down efficiency on both squads. Defensively was good. Offensively stunk. The Giants, I think, were 4-13. Washington was 3-14. They averaged about 4.5 yards a carry. And the quarterbacks actually had a pretty good rating. It's not going to shock me. I mean, it would be the rarities. But point being tonight, right? Daniel Jones, we know about his career. We know what he's done against the Washington franchise, well over 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, couple picks. You go back, his best performance, bar none, 2019, 28-42, close to 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 67% completion percentage. Everyone was complaining, bitching, and whining, don't win that game because it's going to screw you in the draft status, right, from where you're going to pick. But again, once again, the Giant fans just love to bitch, whine, and complain. Do we not, right? Do you guys not? Offensive line, we know, has been the issue. First 3 games against Washington, sacked twice. The last 3 games, 13 times. We saw what happened the last time out. The offensive line, it's been a major issue early and often this season. But again, this is the way I look at it. If you're the Giants, you need to get Daniel Jones running out, flush him out of the pocket, RPOs, let him use his natural talent, his God-given ability, which is his legs, right? Get Saquon involved early and often. We know he's not 100%. I put up the numbers. Since that big monster game against the Texans, 35 for $152, right around 4.5 yards per tote, 15 rushes for 22 yards against the Lions, 11 carries for 39 yards against Dallas, right, where they somewhat were trying to throw themselves back in the game, 18 for 63 against Washington in that tie, and then 9 of 28 against the Eagles, where the game was an absolute blowout, and they got waxed in that one, giving up 48. So pretty much let's rest them a little bit. Breida, Brightwell, love to see him into the mix tonight. No Chase Young for Washington. That's a huge plus for the Giants. But get Daniel Jones moving around. I don't believe this will be this career-defining game. Can he flip the script? Absolutely. Change the narrative? Absolutely. But let me ask you this. If Daniel Jones goes out there 20 of 28 tonight for 210 with 2 touchdowns and no picks and 36 yards rushing, and they win the game 20-16, are we going to sit there on Monday and say, see, sign this guy to a long-term deal, right? Are we going to do that? Or we still haven't seen enough? If he goes out 25 of 30 for 289 and 3 touchdowns and they lose the game, are we going to say, no, you can't sign this guy to a long-term deal, or come up with more excuses? You can't have it both ways, folks. You can't. Let it play out. Right? I don't think anyone, and I know you don't want to hear this, anyone expected this team, after what they've been through the last several years, to race out to a 7-2 start. Obviously, they've kind of hit the skids. They're reeling. 0-3-1 in their last 4. Now they sit at 7-5-1. When was the friggin' last time we can talk about meaningful football? If you're a fan of New York Football Giants, 2016, right? 2016. It seems like light years ago. So just enjoy it. They've got the Vikings and the Colts and the Eagles to close it out. Handle your business tonight. You don't know what's going on with the Vikings after what transpired against the Colts, right? I mean, coming back, the largest deficit in NFL history, and then the Colts look like a shot team. So you can get a win against the Colts. I don't know about the Vikings. And who's to say the Eagles don't turn around and rest their starters late in the season because they had the division and perhaps home field advantage already wrapped up? I don't know, but you can't wait for that. You can't wish for that. You can't keep hoping teams lose, right? We're cutting this earlier on a Sunday. The Jets and Detroit are in progress. You will love Detroit to lose against the Jets. You'll love the fact that Seattle lost to the 49ers, but you can't go out when you got to depend on other teams to handle your business. That means you didn't handle your business. So tonight, I think it's pretty simple. You might have to flip the field. Defense is going to have to make a couple plays here, but I look for Daniel Jones to have a good game, a solid game, right? A mistake-free game, and get the freak out of there with a win. Who cares if it's 10-7? I know for the bettors, right? You're talking about 4.5 line right now. The Giants are getting 4.5. I can see a 20-17. I can see a 21-20. I can see the Giants winning this game late. But my point is, if Daniel Jones takes some 75 yards to win it late, and he struggled mightily throughout the course of the game, but yet they win it, has the narrative really changed on Daniel Jones? I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I'll say this. I think it'll be a good game. We haven't had meaningful football in a long time if you're a Giant fan. So you got to go out and you just got to enjoy it. You got to get Saquon into the mix early and often. But like I said, I want to see how this plays out. And I want to see how the rest of the season plays out before we start to proclaim, career defining game. Right? This is the moment you have to step up. Remember some of the weapons that this guy has around him, right? Take that into consideration, and we'll see how it plays out. All right. Appreciate everyone keeping us locked in for a abbreviated edition, a little quick hit of a Sunday edition of BYP. I'm going to get back, watch the rest of these games. Maybe we'll do a recap later on, perhaps before kickoff. But Monday to Friday, we got a boatload of guests. Follow me on Twitter, IG, and of course, Facebook, IG and Twitter at Rich Q. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment, like, smash that button, share. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the dislikes, all the opinions, all the critique. Hey, man, keep them coming. We don't take it personal. We have fun with it. As I mentioned, I'll have you a full slate of lineup on social media this week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We will talk to you guys on Monday.